we try to understand the creation, illusion, and liberation, understanding the supreme's energies. Shlok Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate
Vaya.
Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate
Om
Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om
Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam
Narayanam
Namaskritya
Namaskrityam
Naram
Naram
Chaiva
Chaiva
Narottamam
Narottamam Devim
Devim
Saraswatim
Saraswatim
Vyasam
Vyasam
Tato Jayam
Tato Jayam
Udguriyam
Udite Nashtaprayeshu
Nastapradeshu
Bhadreshu
Bhadreshu Nityam
Nityam
Bhagavata
Bhagavata
Sevaya
Sevaya
Bhagavati
Bhagavati
Uttama
Uttama Shloke
Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati
Bhaktirbhavati
Naistiki.
Naistiki.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Srimad
Krishna.
Bhagavatam Canto 2nd Chapter 5th. The causes of all causes. Shloka Kramanka 22 and 23. Kalat Gunaveti Karaha
कालात् गुणव्यतिकरः
Rinamaha Swabhavatah
परिणामः स्वभावतः
Karmanaha Jalma Mahatah
कर्मणः जन्म महतः
Purusha Adhishtata Abhuta
पुरुष अधिष्ठितात् अभूतः
Mahatah Tu Vikurvanat
महतः तु विकुर्वाणात्
Rajah Sattva Upabruhitat
रजः सत्त्व उपबृंहितात्
Tamaha Pradhanah Tu Abhavat
तमः प्रधानः तु अभवत्
Dravya Jnana Kriya Atmakah
द्रव्यज्ञानक्रियात्मकः
Kalat Guna Vyatikarah
कालात् गुणव्यतिकरः
Harinamaha Swabhavatah
परिणामः स्वभावतः
Karmanaha Jalma Mahatah
कर्मणः जन्म महतः
Purusha Adhishtitat Abhuta
पुरुष अधिष्ठितात् अभूत
Mahata Tu Vikurvanat
महतः तु विकुर्वाणात्
Rajah Sattva Upabruhitat
रजः सत्त्व उपबृंहितात्
Tamaha Pradhana Tu Abhavat
तमः प्रधानः तु अभवत्
Dravya Jnana Kriya Atmakah
द्रव्यज्ञानक्रियात्मकः
Kalat Gunavyatikarah Parinama Swabhavatah
कालात् गुणव्यतिकरः परिणामः स्वभावतः
Karmana Jalma Mahata Purusha Adhishtitat Abhuta
कर्मणः जन्म महतः पुरुष अधिष्ठितात् अभूतः
Mahata Tu Vikurvanat Raja Sattva Upabramhitat
महतः तु विकुर्वाणात् रजः सत्त्व उपबृंहितात्
Tamaha Pradhana Tu Abhavat Dravya Jnana Kriya Atmaka.
तमः प्रधानः तु अभवत् द्रव्यज्ञानक्रियात्मकः
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. After the incarnation of the first Purush, Shah, Karnanrava, Shai, Vishnu, the Mahat Tattva or the principles of material creation take place, and then time is manifested, and in course of time, the three qualities appear. Nature means the three qualitative appearances. They transform into activities. Material activities are caused by the Mahatattvas being agitated. At first, there is transformation of the modes of goodness and passion, and later, due to the mode of ignorance, matter, its knowledge, and different activities of material knowledge come into play. Purport. By the omnipotency of the Supreme Lord, the whole material creation evolves by the process of transformation and reaction, one after another. And by the same omnipotency, they are wound wound up again one after another and conserved in the body of Supreme. Call or time is the synonym of nature and is transformed manifestation of the principles of material creation. As such, Kal may be taken as the first cause of all creation, and by transformation of nature, different activities of the material world become visible. These activities may be taken up as the natural instinct of each and every living being or even of the inert objects. And after the manifestation of activities, there are varieties of products and byproducts of the same nature. Originally, these are all due to the Supreme Lord. The Vedanta Sutras and the Bhagavatam thus
with the absolute truth
begin
as the beginning of all creation. Janmadi asya yatah.
material creation of every description are more or less due to the development of the mode of passion rajas. The Mahatattva is the principle of material creation. And when it is agitated by the will of the Supreme, at first the modes of passion and goodness are prominent, and afterwards the mode of passion being generated in due course by material activities of different varieties becomes prominent, and the living entities are thus involved more and more in ignorance. Brahma is representation of the modes of passion. Vishnu is representation of mode of goodness, while the mode of ignorance is represented by Lord Shiva, father of material activities. Material nature is called mother, and the initiator of for materialistic life is the father, Lord Shiva. All material creation by the living entities is therefore initiated by mode of passion. With the advancement of duration of life is in a particular millennium, the different modes act by gradual development. In the age of Kali, when the mode of passion is most prominent, material activities of different varieties in the name of the advancement of human civilization take place, and the living entities become more and more involved in forgetting their real identity, the spiritual nature. By a slight cultivation of the mode of goodness, a glimpse of spiritual nature is pursued, but due to the prominence of the mode of passion, the mode of goodness becomes adulterated. Therefore, one cannot transcend the limits of the material modes, and therefore, realization of the Lord, who is always transcendental to the mode of material nature, becomes very difficult for the living entity. Even though prominently situated in the mode of goodness through cultivation of the various methods, in other words, the gross matters are Adibhutam, their maintenance is Adidaivam, and the initiator of the material activities is called Adhyatmam. In the material world, these three principles act as prominent feature, namely as raw material, its regular supplies, and its use in different varieties of material creation for sense enjoyment by the bewildered entities. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सहाद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते
तो
देवे
मीना प्रतिभा के
गौरवाणी
अब दिव्या जैसी
प्रचारिणे
डिजाइन ना मिलेगी
निर्विशेष शून्यवादी
डेविड
पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 5th, the cause of all causes. We try to understand Shloka Kramanka 22 and 23. In both shlokas, here is the describing about the creation. After the incarnation of the first Purush Avtara, we know there are three Purush Avtaras. Here, first avatar is Karnarnava Vishnu, second is Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and third is Kshirodakshay Vishnu. Here they describing about the Karnarnava Shai Vishnu and the Mahatvatva, the principles of the material creation. And after time is created, manifested, and in again, because of the time, uh, they are created the three modes of uh, qualities, means three guna: sattvagun, rajagun and tamogun. How they are created, how they do, all things are described here in 23 shloka also. Material activities caused by Mahat Tattva because of hesitation and a transformation of the mode of goodness and mode of passion. Then uh, uh, all activities are created, and because of the ignorance, mode of ignorance, then matter, its knowledge and different activities, material knowledge, and they come, uh, 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 they exhibited, they come in actually, and how they do their kriya activities that describing in this shloka. Prabhuji will tell us in nicely. Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarubhya kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, as mentioned by Brahmaji to Naradji, and Prabhupada has made the purport so much very clear that we understand the importance of creation, how everything is an illusion, and the importance of liberation. So, Mahatattva, which drives the material creation, is actually like an engine of illusion if you see practically. Let us look at the nature of creation and annihilation to start with. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, everything as we see is emanating from the divine energy, the entire creation. It's from the external energy of Krishna. And it is subtle to cross. The process follows principle of transformation where everything develops from a subtle state to a tangible gross form. And Vaishnavas, they understand that this transformation is a real process. Just like a lemon grows from the energy of a lemon tree. This material cycle, creation is cyclical, eternal, anadi, and it occurs at vast intervals, 8.64 billion years, as we saw yesterday. And the Lord allows conditioned souls to act out their desires, creating their own fate. So creation is just like a cloud in the spiritual sky, temporary and illusory. And Krishna, the Supreme Lord, has an important role in it. He remains distinct from his creation in spite of this being manifesting it through his energies. So his impersonal energy sustains creation, yet he exists eternally in his personal form. Like we understood in Bhagavad Gita, the sky remains unaffected by what rests in it. Similarly, the Lord remains untouched by the material creation. And Krishna exists beyond the material dualities, cause, effect, past, future, but simultaneously manifests within creation as controller of time and space. He is both transcendental and immanent, that is beyond material nature and present within all beings as Paramatma. So he is a being of paradoxes. He possesses mutually contradictory qualities that are beyond human comprehension. Source of everything, yet remains aloof, uninvolved, simultaneously the greatest and the smallest. So, what this makes us understand is the limits of our material understanding. These concepts are impossible for a materialistic or an envious mind to grasp. And that is why we, a couple of days ago, understood the frog in a whale philosophy. See, we living entities, our condition is very different. We are qualitatively one with Lord, but become entangled due to material desires. So Maya has a dual function, āvaraṇātmikā, that is covering, and prakṣepātmikā, that is throwing, keeping souls bound. And liberation requires surrender to a bona fide spiritual master and devotional service. Otherwise, we keep on facing the threefold miseries and Maya. Souls suffer from Adi Bhautik, external, Adi Daivik, celestial, and Adhyatmic, that is internal miseries. The material knowledge, activities, they are all rooted in ignorance and lead to suffering. While the path to freedom is the real yajna, which is devotional service to Krishna. So, spiritualizing all actions transforms mundane life into transcendental service. So, only by understanding the subtle workings of nature, surrendering to Krishna, we can escape the illusion. Because Krishna is beyond material constraints. Time, space, casuality, they're all tools of the Lord to govern the material world, while he is himself remaining unaffected. To explain this, Prabhupada gives the analogy of a judge in a courtroom. He oversees the courtroom, but he is not bound by its rules. Another example could be the sun, which illuminates the world without being tainted by its activities. And Krishna keeps coming to make us understand. He has a purpose for the divine manifestations. He descends to protect devotees, to restore dharma, that is righteousness, and to reawaken souls to their eternal relationships with Him. So, whether it is examples of Ram, Krishna, Narsimha, or any other avatars, everything exemplifies this principle. We'll be studying this further in the 7th chapter. So, devotional practice, bhakti, sadhana bhakti, it requires sincerity, not mechanical rituals. The key attitude which is required is humility, gratitude, and constant remembrance, smaran of the Lord. We should avoid business mentality in devotion and serve selfless. Otherwise, we are always eager to do business with God. Oh God, please get this done. I'll give you 11 coconuts. I'll give you this prasadam. No. Krishna wants only selfless service. And for that, we need to overcome the obstacles. Material desires, ego, and doubts, they hinder our progress. The solution is surrender to Shravana, that is hearing, and Kirtana, that is chanting of the Lord's names and activities. And then we can understand the Lord's mystic power, that is Yogam Aishwaryam. So creation is by will. The entire cosmic cycle, creation, maintenance, annihilation, is performed simply by the Lord's supreme will. And it is effortless perfection. The actions are executed so perfectly that one cannot imagine how they are being done. He acts as the ultimate controller. And this demonstrates the Yogam Aishwaram, or the mystic power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who maintains everything without being in direct material contact. And that is why Brahmaji later on starts describing about the Mahatattva and the modes of nature. Material creation begins when Mahatattva is agitated by the Supreme Lord's will. Initially, goodness and passion dominate, and later ignorance becomes prominent to material activities. And this progression entangles living entities deeper into illusion. Now, one thing which is important to understand here is the mere presence of material elements, that is Mahatattva, living entities, jivas, material knowledge, even if they are just present, it is not sufficient for creation. What is important is the Supreme Lord's sanction, which is essential. Now, this can be explained with the example of a potter. A clay, a wheel, a potter's wheel, all three may be there, but that is not enough. The will of the Supreme, that is the sanction, is ultimately decisive in the creation process. Another example which is given is that of conception. The union of a man and a woman can only be a fruit when blessed by the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is everything. And to maintain the material world, you have the Triguna representations. Brahmaji embodies passion, Vishnu embodies goodness, and Shiva signifies ignorance. Shivji, in fact, is described as the father of materialistic life, while material nature is the mother. In Kali Yuga, what is happening is complete materialism. In Kali Yuga, passion dominates, leading to rampant material activities disguised as progress. And this results in spiritual forgetfulness and so deeper entrampment in illusion. That is where we saw the threefold material principles. Adhibhutam, where the raw materials or the gross matter is responsible. Adhidaivam, where it is the natural forces, maintenance by the gods. Or Adhyatmam, where the initiator of activities or the individual consciousness is a cause for the material miseries. These act as the framework for material creation and enjoyment. What we cannot forget is the effect of lust and ignorance. Lust is the eternal enemy of the soul, burning like fire and never satisfied. And material pleasures are deceptive and lead to continuous bondage. That is why this world is described as Maithuna Agara, a prison of sex desire. But then everything is happening as per the divine will and to Maya. So, though material nature is inferior, it acts like divinely under the Lord's will. Krishna confirms it in Bhagavad Gita 7.14. The illusion, which is Maya, is powerful and difficult to overcome without surrender to Krishna. The eternal conditioning is important. We are Baddha Jiva, but souls become Nitya Baddha, eternally conditioned due to desire to enjoy separately from the Lord. The liberation is possible only through devotional service and daily hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which will help us to go beyond material perception. Krishna is unknowable through material senses, mind, or intellect. Material knowledge, that is aparavidya, is powerless to comprehend him, just as darkness cannot illuminate the sun. So he is the source, yet detached. Though he emanates all cosmic energies, Yogmaya, he remains eternally unaffected by creation, just like fire is untouched by its heat. So knowledge is important. We saw there are two realms of knowledge: the material knowledge bound by duality, logic, causality, and the spiritual knowledge, which is revealed only through divine grace, kripa, and devotion, that is bhakti. So the path to realization is grace driven revelation, Surrender, Sharanagati opens the door to divine understanding. So, what are the practical steps which we need to take? One is Shravana, listening to scriptures. Second is Sadhu Sangha, association with saints. And third is Shraddha, faith beyond intellectual doubt. So, his sense of the shlokas today is that material knowledge cannot help us to approach Krishna, just as darkness cannot exist where light reigns. Krishna is self illuminated, Swayam Jyotihi, beyond cause or effect, beyond duality. So you should recognize Supreme Lord as the ultimate source and cause behind creation, not mere material energy or science. Spiritual consciousness and divine will are the ultimate catalysts for material creation. All ingredients may be present, but without Supreme Lord's intention and glass, nothing materializes. That is why we say man proposes, God disposes. So true knowledge is to see the personal hand of God behind all phenomenon. And for that, it is very, very important that we all stay in association. We all keep on reading the scriptures, doing the study of the scriptures in Guru Parampara system. We keep chanting minimum 16 rounds daily without fail. Ensure that we follow the four regulative principles. Do DT services in our home and engage in service to the devotees, to Guru, and to Krishna. And this way, being perfectly concentrated and surrendering fully on the lotus feet of Krishna, we can achieve the ultimate objective of our life one day, which is Krishna prayer. Thank you very much.